Hi everyone, I'm Rick Blackwell. Welcome to helping our kids grow up healthy, safe, and strong. In this difficult time, the Palm Beach County School District and the Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County are joining forces to assist parents, teachers, administrators, and members of the community as they work to help young people. The organizations are united to ensure all children reach their developmental milestones, succeed in school, and become thriving adults. Let's begin with a look at the Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County. Here's CEO Dr. Lisa Williams-Taylor.
I'm Dr. Lisa Williams-Taylor, CEO of Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County. Children's Services Council was established in 1986 by the voters of Palm Beach County, and we were reauthorized in 2014 with nearly 85% of the vote, which we are very, very pleased with. And then we fund our neighborhood-based programs that are called Bridges, and then fund child care scholarships and dollars to improve the quality in both early care and education settings as well as after-school settings. All in all, over 500 different organizations receive dollars from Children's Services Council every year. The partnership we have with the Palm Beach County School District has been amazing for a very long time, but I would say it's even stronger today. We have so many different projects that we're working on together. The Children's Services Council, working very closely with the school district, we are able to provide 1,000 families in our Bridges neighborhoods with scholarships for internet access, specifically because we want to make sure that our students have whatever tools they need in order to fully immerse themselves in school when it gets back in session. As parents, we all have different points and times where we need advice. If we want to be the best parent for our children, it's just really critical that we take advantage of those that may know more, have gone through it before us, and we could take all of that information, be the best parent that we can be so that our children can grow up healthy, safe, and strong.
Thanks, Dr. Williams-Taylor. And here at the Palm Beach County School District, we are certainly proud of our involvement in the Children's Services Council. School District Superintendent Dr. Donald Fenoy and School Board member Dr. Deborah Robinson are both members of the Council of the CSC. The influence of the school district also can be seen in the work done by experts inside the Children's Services Council. The organization provides resources for parents to help children achieve success in school, including some very effective videos on improving literacy in young people.
The really great thing about reading is it is a great opportunity for parents and a child to build a bond that will last a lifetime, because it is essential to understand that all those skills and strategies you learn with reading, you sometimes reflect on how you learn those strategies, how you learn those little tricks that you learned today. And you start to think about, who was that person that was there with you? But the most important thing to understand too is, when you are reading with your child, you're creating a moment that is going to teach them that this is a special time and something that is such a great passion that we're hoping that one day they'll be able to replicate for the future. I view reading as something as special as a family recipe, something that you want to carry on from generation to generation. So thinking about that special recipe or just that special book is you're creating those special bonds and moments where your child will reflect and appreciate that time, that moment. You took time to stop every other thing you had to do, because on our busy day, we have so many things to do. But stop for that moment and give that one-on-one time, or if you have a sibling, two-on-one time. But to understand that this moment is ours. And this is a special moment that we want to share together. And remember that it's a beautiful thing. It's really important to understand that as your child grows and develops, that your techniques will have to change and adapt to your specific child. Not to say that every child develops the same exact way, but there is a pattern and sequence. So when in the beginning, it is important to focus on those pictures and help them understand that they do tell that story. And then you're going to emphasize on those words and make those connections with those pictures and the words together. And then as you're going on, you'll start to build upon a time where you're able to add questions and focus on different aspects of the book, whether it be where's the first word of the book on the page, or where's a certain item that might be missing from there, telling them clues. Because the ultimate goal is you're building upon an independent reader and thinker, somebody who's going to look at a book, absorb it, and start to think about making connections, not only to that book, but to other books, so they can make other connections to that and build and build and build. When you're encouraging your child to read, it's really important to understand that you are creating a bond. You are creating a moment for them to have intrinsic motivation and possibly a passion for reading. So when you are reading, it's important to make that your special time. It's important to make sure that you are solidifying the fact that this is not a chore, this is something that is fun. And another thing that's really important is, parents, as you have time, it's important for them to see you reading as well. Because if they never see you reading naturally in your environment, utilizing the same skills, then they won't believe you when you say reading is important, because seeing is believing. Beyond the traditional reading a book time, there are other enrichments that you can utilize that will help your child build literacy and foundational skills in language development. It's really important that when you are going throughout the day, you're pointing out as much literacy as you can. You're utilizing strong and rich and juicy vocabulary every day so that your child is able to build and learn different words. It's really important for them to see you in your natural environment, utilizing the skills that they one day can live up to. For example, if they're going to the grocery store, you might be able to make a mock pretend list of things you know you're going to need. And you're going to have your child look at that list and say, oh, do we have this? Where's the apple? And different items like that. But the most important thing is you make literacy within and embedded in their lives every single day. So not only do they grow an appreciation and a love and passion for reading, they understand that through our livelihood, literacy is key to success.
The School District of Palm Beach County keeps the safety of students at the forefront by providing behavioral and emotional supports for students and families to ensure success. Programs include mental health services and social emotional learning, or SEL. SEL helps students develop the self-awareness, self-control, and interpersonal skills that are vital for school, work, and life success. Here's more from local experts on things parents can do to help their child's mental health.
So first of all, it's important to understand that depression is a brain disorder. And I'm glad that parents are asking about that, because for so long, there was such a stigma with even talking about depression. So signs and symptoms in children will vary, but they could be a sad mood or increased irritability, decreased appetite. Kids, particularly adolescents, may be more isolating. They want to stay in their room. They no longer have any interest in their activities. And certainly there is a great concern when they maybe begin to fall behind and not do so well in school. So I think it's important to really differentiate between the typical sadness. We all get sad from time to time, versus the brain disorder. The one key feature is the impairment in functioning. So when a child is sad for a long period of time, when they're extremely irritable, but when they really stop functioning at their normal level, that's when parents should worry. But I have to say, as a child psychiatrist, I am worried about the amount of time that, at least in my patient population, that our kids are spending on technology and on social media. I see a lot of, particularly adolescents, who are really struggling with cyberbullying, with being bullied online. I have lots of my adolescents who are quite anxious, even anxious to go to school, because I don't know about many in the audience, but I will just tell you, I won't tell you exactly how old I am, but when I made mistakes in school, they weren't broadcast, they weren't there for everyone to see. And our children are living in a different world. So I think it really depends on the child, on what's going on. It's important that we talk to our children and teach our children coping skills, what to do when you are being cyberbullied, what to do when you make a mistake, and now the whole school knows about it. So those, again, are the discussions that parents should be having with their children. And if parents, again, are finding that their children are being cyberbullied, or they are not exercising or getting enough physical activity, or not doing their homework, that's when parents should consider decreasing screen time. We want to make sure that folks get 30 minutes at least of physical activity outside. I talk to my adolescents that I work with all the time, but making sure they get outside, and also making sure that they have conversations. The other issue regarding Snapchat and Instagram, and I don't think the younger kids are on Facebook anymore. I'm still on Facebook, but I think they let Facebook go, is that they lose the ability to communicate face-to-face. And I think that's something else that parents should take into consideration when they are, again, working with their children and making decisions about time on screens and or watching TV.
That rises to the point where you need to bring a professional in. I always say parents know their kids the best. If something seems wrong, go with your gut, right? If something seems like it just doesn't make sense, trust your gut. Call a professional. Don't always think that you have to handle it alone as a parent. The second part of the equation is think through their development as a young person in a way that allows you to do it with a level of objectivity, right? Meaning, if your child was bad, did something you didn't like 3 weeks ago, that shouldn't necessarily influence the decision you're gonna make to call a professional, because that could have been an anomaly. So it's about looking at patterns as a parent. And I think that as someone who's spent over 20 years in education, it's the same premise that I would have when I work with my students. If I see a student repeatedly over time acting out in class, but yet they weren't doing that 2 months before, I'm automatically going to start trying to connect the dots to say there's something else here. I need to figure out how to find out. Is it contacting the family? Is it asking other teachers? And I think talking to other caregivers who are around your teenager as a parent is also something that will help you bring things on an upward swing.
The best way a parent can help protect their children from developing a clinical depression is to get educated, first and foremost. So there's so much, like there is on this website, so much information available about identifying mental illness. And to be naive to that, to not take the time to learn about that, is missing a vital opportunity to protect your child from developing depression. So what kinds of things can trigger depression in kids? Certainly, we know marital discord can. So if you're having problems with your spouse, work on it. Going into couples therapy could actually help lessen your child's risk of developing depression.
There's a simple thing. If your child is starting to use drugs or alcohol, major problem for triggering depression, creating a clinical depression. It's not something that any of us want to see our minor children doing, but there is a risk there, especially if you have depression in the family, of developing full-blown depression. So educating your child about that, especially if they know something about depression, they don't want to have that problem, letting them know that, if you drink or start smoking weed, et cetera, you're more likely to develop this, much more likely.
It's been said about parenting that the days are long, but the years are short. Being a mom or dad can be hard, but the Children's Services Council provides support to help parents be their very best.
What is a better alternative than yelling at your child?
Yelling is a very common way that parents have in dealing with children who are not cooperating. And so they've asked them to do something, the child is not doing as they're told, so they raise their voice, they repeat the instruction, they may threaten, they may escalate the voice, and what we call this is an escalation trap. So the parent gets into a situation of learning, when kids resist, if I escalate, children will cooperate. So right at the point that we're at our worst by being angry and shouting, what happens? Kids cooperate, and they're inadvertently, accidentally, unintentionally rewarding us for being shouters. So we've got to recognise that there's some intrinsic payoffs for shouting because it works. It works temporarily. The problem is that in the future, when you want your kids to do something, you're more likely to have to resort to shouting to get them to do what you want. And so the key to doing less shouting is to become highly attuned to your own tone of voice and how annoyed or angry or irritated you're feeling when you're asking your child to do something. And if you feel as though the temperature is rising, you need to be able to self-regulate, calm yourself down, and use a calmer, more specific, clearer voice that gives the child a clear direction about what it is that you're wanting to happen. And then if you're needing to follow through and back up because they're not cooperating, really focus on not escalating your own voice in the backup process. Because if you do so, what children learn is that if I misbehave, parents get angry, they then threaten, maybe I even get hit. And right at the point the adult is at their worst, children will be cooperating, but it's almost like to shut the parent up at that point. And the problem from a parenting perspective is that adults are learning that this is necessary in order to get kids to cooperate, and it's totally not necessary to get kids to cooperate. Calmer voices are always more effective.
I think if I had one thing to say about parenting and mental illness and mental health in our kids is don't make assumptions. And there's lots of commercials about this, but put the screens down, the phones, the TV, make time to talk and listen. Lead with your ear as a parent. I make this mistake all the time with my 3 kids. I rush to reassure them rather than take the time to make sure I really have listened to them. No, you are well liked. You're really a great kid. Oh, you can do this. You're really a smart kid. Instead, say, tell me why you can't do this. Do you feel stupid? Yeah, I feel stupid. I can see why you feel stupid. This is the LEAP method that we teach, but it's also just sort of basic parenting 101. Listen, make the time.
What's your advice for divorced parents raising a child?
Well, when the brunt of parenting falls on one parent, it becomes very important for that parent to be internally consistent themselves with their children. To the extent that they're able to share a vision on how to handle things with the children with an estranged partner, that's a very good thing to occur. But sometimes when there have been communication difficulties, communication breakdown between parents, that is one of the contributing factors that might have led to the breakdown in the first place. An inability inability to reach agreement about how to handle situations with the children. What it means, though, is that if children are being looked after by multiple other people in the child's life, including the estranged partner or perhaps even that partner's extended family, when children return to the care of the primary caregiver, it's important that that primary caregiver is as consistent as they're able to be. So children can sometimes tolerate differences between how they're handled when they're at dad's place, or how they're handled when they're at mum's place or with a grandparent. But what they find even more challenging is that if there are big differences from one day to the next where they're with the same parent. And so it's important in those times of changeover and going from one family to another, that it's not clouded with acrimony and conflict, and so that children learn that they can play one parent off against the other parent, and there's friction and concern occurring, and so kids are returning from periods of time where they've been absent from the parent and bringing back into that family situation distress and unhappiness as a result of being cared for by someone else.
When parents spend too much time on their smartphones.
Distracted parenting is a phenomenon associated with distraction that we all experience these days with electronic devices and other things. What children need is for those devices to be set aside and for one-to-one emotional connection, play, for example, reading, talking. And when you provide that, you're providing brain food for your child. Unfortunately, electronic screens don't do that as well as the three-dimensional parent does. So I'd ask parents to schedule time during their days to put their electronics aside and be present with their kids.
Just a reminder, for parenting tips, expert advice, and links to local resources for families raising children in Palm Beach County, please visit everyparentpbc.org or download the free Every Parent app. We also want to tell you about the Nurse Family Partnership, which was designed for Palm Beach County moms to provide access to much-needed guidance and assistance. Here's more on the program.
If you are pregnant for the first time, Nurse Family Partnership is a free program that will pair you with a nurse who will help you and your family.
My name is Cameron Bello. I'm a single mother. I'm 17 years old. This is my son, Andre. He is just the most amazing baby. He's always laughing and smiling. He loves to make people laugh. He loves the park. It's his favorite thing to do. He loves to go down the slide and sit on the swing. He could sit on the swing for hours with no problem. The thing about getting pregnant was just the judgment, mostly from my family, because I knew, like coming from a Spanish family, everything was strict.
My daughter Cameron has come a long way. It was hard for me to find out when she was pregnant. It was hard for the family. It was hard for her.
Being a young mom, being judged by people, it's always been a thing in the back of your mind where, people always tell you, oh, you'll never do this or you'll never be able to do that. So you always have that in the back of your head, like, well, maybe I won't be able to do this or maybe I really won't be able to do that. But it's always tough to have those negative voices in the back of your head from hearing it from other people. The Nurse Family Partnership Program has really helped me change that mindset that I had. My current nurse, Carrie Ann Dixon, has been a huge part of that. She's been a great role model. She's always helped me and encouraged me and made sure that I pushed forward no matter what people were telling me.
As a first-time mom, you know absolutely nothing. You're completely lost. You don't know which way to go. With Cameron, I've been able to bring in different activities for her to do with Andre. They can play together. I've been able to show her when Andre has had enough, the importance of creating a routine, like a bedtime routine for him, reading stories with him.
Because of this program, I finished high school at Quantum High School in Boynton Beach. I have 2 jobs, and I plan to go to Florida Atlantic University to study accounting.
All the goals that she wanted to follow through, she has done. I couldn't be more proud of her. She is an amazing mother. She is awesome.
I am in a great place today. I see a great future for myself. I see a great future for my son. And I don't think any of that would have been possible without this program.
To learn more about Nurse Family Partnership and other free local programs for pregnant women, call 561-623-2800.
The collaboration between the Palm Beach County School District and the Children's Services Council is an example of cooperation and teamwork. And another organization helping families, the Palm Beach County Food Bank, which helps to feed about 100,000 Palm Beach County residents per month. Here's CEO Dr. Lisa Williams-Taylor with more.
The story of the Palm Beach County Food Bank is truly the story of Palm Beach County's generosity. The richness of our land and the richness of our community spirit help feed about 100,000 Palm Beach County residents a month. It begins here in a field several miles west of Belle Glade with this ear of corn. Almost every weekend for 6 months a year, volunteers go out to the fields across Palm Beach County for what is known as gleanings.
So what we do when we glean is the farmers donate the land, usually a second pick or a harvest that would not be grocery grade. We come out here, we recruit our volunteers, and we recover the produce. We pack it in bins, goes into the food truck for the Palm Beach County Food Bank, and we load it up and we send it back to the food bank.
Every year, the food bank distributes more than 5 million pounds of food. About 50% of that is fresh produce straight from the farms of Palm Beach County. Once the food arrives at the food bank, it is sorted by volunteers and boxed up.
When I was growing up, my parents always taught me the importance of giving back to the community and helping out those who are less fortunate. So this is just my opportunity to keep that going. It feels really good, you know. The people who are less fortunate, they don't exactly know where their next meals are coming from. So if we could just help out and, you know, give them a solid source of food and nutrition, you know, it helps out. It goes a long way.
From the food bank warehouse, the food goes to about 170 agencies and groups in our county. One of those groups is the Lord's Place in West Palm Beach. The Lord's Place Family Campus provides housing for families who otherwise would be homeless.
We get a lot of good vegetables from the food bank. We have squashes, tomatoes, Brussels sprout, cabbage, but today we have the sweet corn that everyone loves.
And just a few days after the corn was plucked from the field, Sarah Lynn and her family are getting ready to eat it.
When we're in a rut and we need things that I'm not able to get at the times that we need it, the food bank comes in handy. I love getting the fresh vegetables because it's homegrown. Are you guys ready to eat some delicious corn?
From the field to a child's plate, the Palm Beach County Food Bank is truly rooted in our community. Please donate your time or money. Feed your neighbor, feed your soul.
These are tough times, and they call for everyone coming together. What we have tried to show you in this episode of Helping Our Kids is when our community works side by side, we can make a huge difference in the lives of Palm Beach County residents. We truly are better together.
My graduation was something I will never forget. People like you and me sometimes may have doubts in ourselves, but I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I love it. My black mask is so big, it's like it keeps moving.
Oh, these are the surface maps.
So I only have these.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ready to start? Very good. Good afternoon. My name is Dave Kerner, serving as County Mayor, joined here by members of the Board of County Commissioners to include Vice Mayor Robert Weinroth, Commissioner Greg Weiss, Commissioner Maria Marino, Commissioner Sachs, and Commissioner Mckinley. We're also joined by Dr. Fenoy, who's the Superintendent of the Palm Beach County School District. We're also joined by Darcy Davis, the CEO of the Palm Beach County Healthcare District, and Michelle Blakeney, our new Emergency Manager for Palm Beach County. We also have a representative from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, who's been an awesome partner in our COVID-19 response, and Captain Kirshner. We're here today to give a brief update on where we stand on our operations related to vaccinations here in Palm Beach County and COVID-19 in general. The Board of County Commissioners did not meet formally this week, so we thought that in our effort to constantly and accurately communicate with our constituents and the residents that we would have a brief press conference and allow other agencies to give updates on their progress as well. We're here today on day 339 of Level 2 activation at the Palm Beach County Emergency Operations Center related to COVID-19. As of yesterday, nearly 233,000 Palm Beach County residents have been vaccinated, of which 81% of that figure are over the age of 65. The rest fall into other categories that we're giving preference given their first responder status or direct contact with patients in the healthcare setting. About 54% of Palm Beach County residents over the age of 65 have been vaccinated at this point. We lead the state in first round vaccinations out of all 67 counties, and we remain in second place in terms of total vaccinations given round 1 and round 2, right behind Miami-Dade County. The order of speakers today will be Commissioner Marino will join the podium here in just a second to give an update on a new North County vaccination center. Then we'll hear from Dr. Donald Fenoy, Superintendent of Palm Beach County School District, on some progress that they've made. And then Darcy Davis, Chief Executive Officer of the Healthcare District, then Dave Aronberg, our State Attorney, and then Mary Blakeney, who I previously introduced as our new Palm Beach County Emergency Manager. So with that said, it's my honor to invite Commissioner Maria Marino up to the podium, and then we'll get further on to the press conference. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to, first off, thank Virginia Banker, our County Administrator, my fellow commissioners, and John Van Arnhem, the City of Palm Beach Gardens, and Ron Ferris, City Manager. We are excited to have Palm Beach Gardens be included with our sites, our vaccination sites, since we have a South County site, Florida Fairgrounds, and the Anton Bolden site out in the Glades. This partnership of Palm Beach Gardens, the county, the healthcare district, is really an opportunity to increase vaccines for our residents. We joined the city in an agreement. The location will be our Burns Road Community Center. It will be operated by the healthcare district as a public vaccination site. It is available by appointment only. The location is anticipated to open Wednesday, February 24th, and it will always be contingent on vaccines available. The city will be providing, which I think this is great, police, fire rescue, maintenance, and janitorial staff in their gymnasium, which previously served as a closed pod earlier in the month. The agreement is through August, and if need be, will be extended after that. The site will concentrate on completing the vaccinations for those on the Department of Health's waiting list. And it is very important to come at your allotted time. Do not come if you don't have an appointment. That is any location, not just the Palm Beach Gardens location. We had previously talked with the Palm Beach State College, but when you looked at what was available at Palm Beach State College and the Burns Road Community Center, it turned out the community center was more to what we needed. So I know that Darcy Davis will have specific information so she can answer those specific questions about who is getting on the list, who is waiting and whatnot. But I do want to thank all of our residents for your input and for your patience. As our mayor said, we are now over 330 days into this, and it is with your patience that we are succeeding. So I just want to say thank you. And who's next on our list?
I'll make some comments related to. Thank you, Commissioner Marino. And Commissioner Marino reports on a site that's opening in North County. As you know, the Board of County Commissioners doesn't make the decisions as to who gets vaccinated and when, but we do remain very much involved in ensuring the equitable distribution in both demographically, racially, ethnicity-wise in Palm Beach County. And so we're delighted to start seeing the resources rounding out throughout the county in terms of distribution points and pods to access communities that are underserved. I'll turn it over now to Dr. Donald Fenoy, Superintendent of Palm Beach County. Sir, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mayor Kerner, County Commissioner Virginia Baker, and the entire County Commission. I'd also like to thank Dr. Elina Lanza and her staff at the Florida Department of Health in Palm Beach County. On behalf of the school district and the school board, it's important to note that the valuable partnership between the county and the school board is vital to the well-being of our schools, our students, and our staff. For the past few weeks, the school district of Palm Beach County has been reaching out to our employees who are 65 and older, asking if they would like our assistance in securing a COVID-19 vaccine appointment. Approximately 250 employees in that age group indicated that they would. These employees are teachers, bus drivers, custodians, and other members of our staff who play a pivotal role in the daily operations of the school district. The school district is the largest employer in Palm Beach County, and we operate the largest restaurant and the largest transportation system. And so, of all of our 179 campuses, they have all remained open since September. And that is a very important and something we should be proud of here in Palm Beach County. But we must remain at full capacity for the remainder of the school year. So again, I am grateful to all of our county leaders that are here today for understanding the urgency to assist the school district and helping this group of employees gain access to the COVID-19 vaccine. I'd also like to thank the state for its assistance in setting up the COVID-19 vaccination site at the Anquan Bolden Stadium in Pahokee. We are actually all stronger together, and I thank you for this work and all the work that we will do together in the future. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Fenoy, for your continued partnership in the Board of County Commissioners and all the agencies that are responding to COVID-19. It's now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Ms. Darcy Davis, Chief Executive Officer of the Palm Beach County Healthcare District. Ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor Kerner, Vice Mayor Weinroth, County Commissioners, County Administrator Baker, State Attorney Aronberg, and Superintendent Fenoy. I'm Darcy Davis, CEO of the Healthcare District. This is a very busy but productive time for the Healthcare District in our unified fight against COVID-19. Our current priority mission is to get shots into arms, and every day we're doing just that. From the South County Civic Center to the new mass vaccination site at the South Florida Fairgrounds, our Healthcare District teams and Palm Beach County Fire Rescue firefighters are moving patients through this process quickly and safely. Since December, the Healthcare District has provided nearly 50,000 vaccinations countywide. Approximately 75% of our patients have completed their registration online before they arrive. That's the key to our smooth and successful operation. It's very rewarding to hear the patients say they're impressed and grateful that their entire vaccination process takes less than 30 minutes from start to finish once they arrive. This week's blast of winter storms did slow vaccine delivery, and still, I'd like to provide some reassurance. Those seniors who have pre-scheduled appointments for their first and second Pfizer doses are confirmed for their vaccinations through next Tuesday with vaccines that are already on hand. And we're pleased to hear that more vaccine is on the way because the timing is right as we lay the groundwork for our third site at the Burns Road Community Center in Palm Beach Gardens. When the doors opened next Wednesday, the Healthcare District will offer COVID-19 vaccinations at a central location in the northern part of the county. We've designed this site as a mini fairgrounds and will have the capacity to administer 1,000 shots in a day. We thank Palm Beach County Fire Rescue and Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue, who will be vaccinators in partnership with us. When we open, we'll continue to schedule and vaccinate individuals 65 years and older who are on the Department of Health waiting list. That wait list remains our focus. Last week, we emailed 60,000 people on the wait list from whom we had not heard anything. Those 60,000 people represented individual email addresses from whom we had not heard after 4 attempts in 4 weeks. I'd also like to clarify that the only information we have on those individuals was their email address. If they did not complete an appointment request form, we don't have their telephone numbers or even their names to attempt another means of communication. We asked of those 60,000, are they still interested in the Healthcare District providing them with their first vaccine? About 6,000 of those responded yes, they're still interested. Over 17,000 indicated they're no longer interested, and some 39,000 still did not respond. Our plan is to remove the names of those who responded that they're not interested, or from those that we've still heard nothing after these 4 attempts. At this time, approximately 30,000 emails remain on the wait list and are in the process of being scheduled for appointments as vaccine becomes available. The sooner we move through that wait list, the quicker we'll be able to open scheduling for the many seniors who are still waiting to be vaccinated. At this point, given the pace of vaccine supply, we're still looking at a 4 to 5 week time frame before we can get through the list. I want to thank our county leaders and the public for your confidence and your ongoing patience. With more vaccine flowing into the county, there will be greater opportunity to get shots in arms. And the Healthcare District is proud to help lead this effort as efficiently and safely as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis, and a special thank you to the nurses and all the healthcare professionals that work for the Healthcare District that have been out there day in and day out getting shots in arms. We're very appreciative of their public service. It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium our state attorney, Dave Aronberg, who has some comments and information on some concerning trends and bad actors, both in our community and throughout the state of Florida. Mr. State Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and commissioners and colleagues. And Darcy, thank you for your excellent words. I'm Dave Aronberg, State Attorney for the 15th Judicial Circuit, which covers all of Palm Beach County. The good news is that we have not had any cases in our office of any vaccine scams. But the bad news is we know the scammers are out there. The Attorney General put out an alert because of some indications that there are individuals taking advantage or trying to take advantage of people who are seeking shots. And because the vaccines right now during this phase are being targeted towards the senior population, the scammers are also targeting the senior population. So we want people to be aware of what's going on out there to avoid the scams, such as calls to you that ask for money or your Medicare information. That's a sign of a scam. They may try to tell you, even if you're not a senior, that you're still eligible for the shot in exchange for money. That's a sign of a scam. Keep in mind that the vaccine is free. The providers are allowed to charge a $15 administrative fee. But there are scammers out there who are trying to tell you you need to pay them to expedite your way up the line or to get on a wait list or in any other way to get the shot. That's a scam. No one's going to call you out of the blue to tell you to pay them to get the shot. So please, don't provide your personal information. Don't provide your Medicare information. And if you get the shot, do not take a photo and post the card online. We're seeing that, and that contains personal sensitive information. If you want your identity stolen, that's a good way to do it. The cards also allow scammers to take a photograph of it and to create fake vaccine documentation. So these are the scams out there. We just ask people to, if they get a call like this, to report it to a law enforcement agency. We have found in the past that consumer fraud is an underreported crime. People are embarrassed if they fall prey to something like this. But we ask them, please, if you see something, say something, because we're all in this together. Thank you.
Thank you, State Attorney Aronberg. We appreciate your service. And just to reiterate, if somebody suspects that they're being scammed, they should report it to local law enforcement as well. Very good. All right, so it's now my unique pleasure to introduce the new Palm Beach County Emergency Manager, Mary Blakeney. She follows in the line of a great succession of great managers in this county. We just had our longtime emergency manager, Bill Johnson, retire. And the emergency manager of the county, especially a county this size and this scope, is a very important job. It's the unsung hero, and it's the person that operates this emergency operations center and keeps the various agencies and ducks in line and all that important stuff that we never get to see because it's all behind the scenes. So with that said, it's my pleasure to invite our new emergency manager, Mary Blakeney. Ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Mary Blakeney, the Emergency Manager here in Palm Beach County. I want to give you an update on vaccine supply currently. So due to severe weather across the country, we're experiencing a delay of shipments of Moderna vaccines. This is for Moderna first doses only. The weather delay is preventing the employees to get to the factory to package and ship the Moderna supply. We have not received any definitive information on when the shipment will arrive. So, as Darcy Davis had mentioned, if you currently have a first shot appointment with Pfizer or any second dose appointments, please show up for those. Those appointments will still take place. Second doses of Moderna, along again with first and second doses of Pfizer vaccines, have been delivered, and those appointments will still take place. Appointments for first doses of Moderna will be scheduled after receipt of the shipment. So this delay has not only impacted our county points of distribution, but have also impacted all of our local Publix pharmacies. So this Moderna delay has impacted not just our county sites, but our public sites. We are currently planning for a double shipment of vaccines next week, which will be spread throughout all of our county fixed sites. And again, those will be by appointment only. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, and congratulations on your promotion. At this time, I'd like to give my colleagues on the Board of County Commissioners an opportunity to speak directly to the constituents of Palm Beach County. We'll start to my right with Commissioner Maria Sachs, and if we'll just go down the line, and then we'll open it up to some questions. Commissioner?
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Mayor and Vice Mayor, our county administrator, and Darcy. This is a team, ladies and gentlemen, that we have mobilized to help all the people of Palm Beach County get vaccinated. As you know, the vaccines were first rolled out in South County. Now you see that we're going to have a North County site for vaccinations. So as has been said many times, we can't do it alone, but you can see your county commission together as a team, working to make sure that every person here in this county who is eligible to get a vaccination will get a vaccination. Thank you so much for your patience. Those of you who are waiting on that wait list, just remember one thing: better to wait here in sunny Florida than to have to wait someplace where the snow is piled up in front of the car and you're not able to get out. So thank you very much, and I'm very proud to be part of this team. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert Weinroth. I'm the Vice Mayor here in Palm Beach County. It's my pleasure to see that we are moving ahead with this, notwithstanding the supply chain difficulties. As the Mayor said, obviously, we don't have our hands on the vaccine, to the consternation of our constituents. They wish that they could call us and ask for a shot. But we have very valuable partners here in the healthcare district, in the Department of Health, and in the emergency management up in Tallahassee. And in that regard, I would like to thank Jared Moskowitz, who has just recently announced his retirement from that position, and he's coming back home. He has been so helpful to us. Every time we've identified a pocket of individuals within our county that needed help, whether they were Holocaust survivors, whether they were people who were stuck at home, they have been very, very helpful to us in Tallahassee, making the vaccine available to us. We are very, very fortunate that we have had this support by our partners up in Tallahassee. And I'm also grateful to hear that our teachers who are 65 and over are going to have the vaccine they need. We are certainly, as a board, very concerned about the students in our county. We're concerned, obviously, you've all heard of summer slide, and we don't want to have a pandemic slide. And I'm afraid without the ability to be in-person training, that some of these students are losing the valuable educational opportunities that were available to them before. So we are very, very grateful that we're making the vaccine available to all of the teaching and professionals at the school district who are 65 and over, and we're looking forward to having more and more of our children back into classrooms. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Melissa Mckinley, County Commissioner, District 6. Thank you so much for being here today. I think the first person I'd like to thank this afternoon is our President, Joe Biden. Shortly before arriving here at the EOC today, I was on a national call with the National Association of Counties and staff from the White House, where they highlighted less than a month ago, we had about 8.7 million vaccines in distribution. We are now at 11 million, and the next time we see a 3-week visibility or projection of vaccines, we should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 13.5 million vaccines being distributed across this country. In addition to that, they will be allocating another 1 million vaccines to our community health centers, starting off with an initial round of 250. I know our staff is working to see if we can get at least 1 or 2 of those 250 initial sites here in Palm Beach County to service our vulnerable populations. Those community health centers, or those federally qualified health centers as they're formally called, 2/3 of the patients that they serve fall below the federal poverty lines, and 60% of them are patients that reside in our minority communities. So this type of creative outreach is something that we should all be supporting. I also want to thank Jared Moskowitz as well. He certainly he answered the call and recognized the state's oversight when the decision was made to distribute vaccines only to Publix in our county. Through his leadership and his efforts, we saw about 5,000 vaccines be reallocated to our local Florida Department of Health office to partner with Darcy Davis at the Healthcare District and to provide that distribution vaccine opportunity in Pahokee that we've seen. So I really thank him for his efforts. I do want to say, and I'm certainly happy that local government official criticism did not result in vaccines being taken away from our county, but rather reintroduced to our county. I want to just make a very important point. We set up that site in Pahokee, or the state set it up, and we are working with them thanks to our partnership with the Sheriff's Office and with the school board. But we set up that site to address a pocket of Florida that does not have any other vaccine opportunity nearby. Mayor Kerner has always highlighted that 90% of Palm Beach County residents or seniors live within 1.5 miles of a Publix. Well, the other 10% are probably my constituents in the Glades where that's not an opportunity. The way the vaccine program is working in the Glades is it is not a pre-registration program. And we actually have staff from the libraries department, as well as my aide in my Belglade office, Lisa Wilson, along with Tammy Jackson Moore, who runs a volunteer organization called Guardians of the Glades, working to get the word out to encourage residents in the Glades who are eligible to get that vaccine. One pocket we found that hadn't been touched yet in the Glades area was the Haitian community. And happily, we were able to partner with the city of Belglade and actually use their local city bus, their Parks and Rec bus, to transport eligible Haitian American residents to the Pahokee site to get vaccinated. And I say this because I saw a lot of social media chatter late last week leading into those vaccine distributions that were encouraging people from Broward County and from Lee County and Collier County and Miami-Dade County to go out to Pahokee and take advantage. It's 500 vaccines. It's 250 a day. I have over 5,000 people over the age of 65 in those 3 cities and unincorporated areas in the Glades. It's not a whole lot of vaccines to vaccinate over 5,000 people. Please listen to your conscience. Please don't take advantage of what we're trying to do in our rural communities. Unlike other areas in the state, we are not plucking from affluent communities to try to provide a priority. We are pulling from 3 of the 4 poorest cities in the state of Florida. So I would just put a word out there to the community. I beg you, please, you've got Publix. In some parts, we've got our Walmarts and Winn-Dixie, not in our county, but in other urban counties. We've got the fairgrounds, we have the South County Civic Center, we have the Mid-County Senior Center, we now have this new site in Palm Beach Gardens. The Anquan Bolden Stadium site in Pahokee is really all we've got in the Glades, so please don't take advantage of it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Greg Weiss, County Commissioner in District 2. And I guess my word today for our residents is really number one, to thank you for your patience. Getting everybody vaccinated, as we all knew, was going to take time. And developing the systems for everybody to sign up is also taking a little bit of time. But what we've seen recently is our community coming together to help those that may not have access to technology or be familiar with how to use it. And groups have formed where folks are going online to help seniors that are not able to schedule their own appointments, to schedule appointments for them. And to see that happening by just hundreds of volunteers throughout Palm Beach County is just, it's heartwarming, and it reminds us of what we're all about as a community. And that is, we're all going to get through this together. So I'll be brief today and just say thank you, everybody, for what you're doing. Thank our partners for what you all are doing to help us make sure that everybody gets vaccinated who wants to get vaccinated, and that we'll all be safe and get through this pandemic and get to the other side. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiss, and that concludes the speaking portion of the press conference. I did just want to update very briefly on behalf of Dr. Elina Lanza, who couldn't join us today, some very brief statistics, though, on positivity rate here in Palm Beach County, which is presently at 6.22%, and then the statewide average is 6.4% for February 17th. So we remain below the statewide average. All of our hospital metrics look good. The mandatory face mask executive order has been reinstituted and is in place as it has been since the beginning, and that will continue to at least mid-March. And that concludes the update. So we're open to any questions, and thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir. Hey, Andrew from CBS 12. How much of a setback are these weather delays for people getting vaccinated? I know you mentioned 4 to 5 weeks, but how much of a setback is that going to be for the county in terms of keeping the momentum going, getting more and more people vaccinated?
Do you have any comments on that?
So our understanding right now is that the vaccine will come in, either Monday or Tuesday. And since we're still carrying forward with second doses, we think that we can schedule 2 weeks worth of vaccines next week and try to get all of those taken care of. We want to get the shots in the arms as quickly as possible. So assuming we get them Monday or Tuesday, it won't slow us down.
One more question. I know you mentioned there's about 39,000 people that didn't reply to those emails. Is there something better that you guys could have done than just rely on the email system to then get this word out to people about the vaccine?
Well, you guys as media, for sure, have told everybody to look in your spam. What we will do, we'll have the list forever. So at some point, when we do open this up and get through all those names that we do have, we can always go back and check. If somebody says to us, hey, I was on that list, we will know, and then we can help expedite them through that process as they could have been had they responded now. And then I'm also aware that Dr. Alonzo and the health department have set up another site where they will go in and individually look to see where somebody might be. Because of the emails that we received, we didn't get the entire list. They maintained a portion of that list. So there's, it's challenging when there's that much interest, but yeah.
I've got a question for all of the county commissioners, but particularly Commissioner McKinley. Based upon the governor's comments regarding the potential for vaccine shipment to be changed based upon criticism, it appeared that affected a number of you. There were a lot of people nodding their heads and going along with it. Did anyone have a reaction to what the governor said? A strong reaction?
As part of that statewide hat I wear, it's funny, when I first ran for office, somebody asked me, what are you going to do if people criticize you or they say they hate you or the Palm Beach Post writes something nasty about you? And I remember telling them, I have 3 teenagers. You're going to have to ask me a harder question than that. Criticism comes with the job. And just prime example, if I hadn't been vocal about the decision that affected my district, we wouldn't see shots in the Glades today. And we wouldn't see vaccines available in some of our other lower income communities across this county. You can't take your ball and go home. You've got to deal with the criticism, acknowledge where errors may have been made. I'm sure errors were made that were not intentional. I'm not going to pretend I understand somebody's intent on that. But there are no other group of elected officials in the state like a local elected official. We've been at this for 330 days, Mary. 330 days. This Palm Beach County, this local government emergency operations center has been activated and responding to this pandemic, and also had to respond to hurricanes during hurricane season. We know where the areas in our communities, where they are that need help. We see those neighbors. We're not off in Tallahassee. We're not up in Washington, D.C. We're down here on the ground every day. And if we very politely or, sometimes aggressively acknowledge, God bless you, acknowledge a shortcoming or an error that's been made, our criticism should be listened to, and a threat should not be issued like that. We're not talking about a game of hoops. We're talking about somebody's life. Thank you.
Mayor Kerner, you're closest with the governor. Is this something that you feel that he actually has the potential to follow up on?
Can remind me of the
idea that criticism could lead to a distribution of vaccine shipments to other places?
I don't speak for the governor. I do know that I've worked very diligently to build a relationship with the governor on behalf of the people of Palm Beach County. I know this is a large state with 20 million people, with 67 counties, and I think we're moving past, as a country, moving past that concept of if you criticize this elected official, they're going to seek some sort of retribution. I don't like to see that play out in government and politics, particularly in an operational mindset like we are in right now with COVID-19. There's always time for politics and partisanship. I don't participate in it too often, but I think America's ready to move past that concept. And so I know that in everything that I do on behalf of the people of Palm Beach County, I do in a way that I think is respectful and becoming of the office that I hold and becoming of the officer that I'm lobbying for in terms of whether it's more vaccines or more support. And so I've found my relationship to be of value with the governor, to the people of Palm Beach County, and I'm just going to continue to keep doing what I do in the way that I lead. And each elected official has their own obligation to their constituents. And there needs to be people in a legislative body like this that can call it out forcefully. And that's an important part of a local elected official's job. And so I think we make a great team in that regard. And certainly the conversations that I have with the governor are always positive, always forward-thinking, and always about how we can best help the people of Palm Beach County.
I have a quick question for Mary, the new emergency manager. You talked about a double shipment that was possible. Can you talk about how many vaccines would be expected in that?
When I referenced a double shipment of vaccines, the vaccine distribution happens on a weekly basis. So we were expecting a shipment this week on Tuesday. They were not shipping due to President's Day on Monday. So we were anticipating a shipment of about 5,000 Moderna first doses on Tuesday. We have yet to receive that. We anticipate, based on the information shared from the state, that they anticipate next week's allocation will be the same. If not, we could get a little bit more. So when we're talking about a double shipment, we're talking about 2 weeks worth of supply.
And then I have one more question for Dr. Fenoy. You talked about the 200 plus 65 older employees that have been vaccinated. Do you have the number of total employees that are 65 and older, and what percentage of those have been vaccinated?
So, because of health records, we would not ask our people if they've been vaccinated. That would be illegal. And so I think our population of employees that are over 65 are somewhere in around 1,500. And so those would be our numbers. But we reached out to all of those. We did not ask them if they had received the vaccine. We just said if we could assist you, we'd be willing to do that. And we had over 260 of those employees sign up.
260?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just some last comments before we conclude. Of course, remember, if I don't say this and if I don't follow it, I'll get in trouble. 3 W's, wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. Closed spaces, crowded places, and confined spaces should all be avoided. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners and our County Administrator and Incident Commander, Ms. Virginia Baker, we appreciate the press's attention to our words and our press conferences. This is an ongoing and continued effort, not to just execute as best we can on the COVID-19 operations, but to be direct and candid and honest in the way we communicate our information to the people of Palm Beach County. So barring any other questions, thank you for your time today, and we'll speak to you shortly. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Is, quote, worn, torn, worthless.
Marcus Vega doesn't speak Spanish by Pablo Cortea.
That is incorrect. Wellington Landings, in which